Alright, so new video time. We've got the new alternator just coming, which is now no longer ECU regulated. So we've got this bad boy, brand new from eBay. Apparently it's not a China one, but it looks like a China one to me. It's identical to the original one, which is dead. But yeah, anyway, we'll see if it works. So this one, same connector, just needs a light and sense. So sense will go to the battery here. Technically it should go to the battery itself, but there's no voltage drop between here and the battery, so I've redid that cable. And then one light sense, which is like ignition power with a 470 ohm resistor on it to mimic a light being attached to it. Nice easy way to do it. So we're just going to smash this in the car, check the voltage and make sure it's working, and that'll also free up a DPO output on the ECU. So let's get stuck into that and yeah, move on to some more tuning. I've got a company in Sydney, Rotor Division, which is talking to me at the moment about helping me with some tuning problems. So we'll see if they help, or yeah, we'll go from there really. So we've got to get this in the car first, get the charging sorted so the voltage isn't all over the place. And I want to rewire the fuel pump because it's going through the fuel pump resistor at the moment. And I want to get rid of that, or at least use it properly so it's low speed and high speed. So we'll get into that and get it done. Alright, so 5 minutes, alternator's out. Didn't have to take out anything really, apart from the alternator obviously, and take the belt off. So when you've done it a few times, you figure out a way to do it. So all you do is just wiggle it from the bottom, flip it up so the bottom tabs come up towards the throttle body, and then come forward this way, it comes straight out. You don't have to take the bracket off, you don't have to take anything off. So new alternator, an old alternator, new one, old one. They look fucking exactly the same, but yeah, anyway. Get that in, see what we can do. Alrighty, so it took about 10 minutes. Yeah, quicker. The more you do this shit, the quicker it gets. So she's all in. I just haven't connected up this because I need to work out if this is L or this is L, light and sense, and then make up a little pigtail to go from here to here, or from here to here. Yeah, I'll probably just go from here to here, to be honest with you. So we'll look up the wiring schematic for this, work out which one is L, which one is S, and yeah, go from there. I mean, I could start it and just probe it with a test light and see which one charges and which one doesn't, and then yeah, that's obviously going to be L and that's going to be, the other one's going to be S. So yeah, we'll see. I'll try and get a ballpark first before I go connecting anything to it. Don't want to blow the fucking regulator up. Alright, so according to this, the light is the one furthest away from the battery terminal charging fucking pole, and sense is the top. And then yeah, sense ties into the charging to sense how much voltage is coming out of the alternator to adjust, but this one is more of like an exciting slash am I charging type fucking situation. So yeah, we'll give that a try. I'll just get the probe out and just probe the alternator. So we'll start it up, get the test light out, probe it, see which one charges and which one doesn't. Alright, so we've got the multimeter set on DC voltage. Got the test light with a incandescent bulb in it, not an LED one. That's connected to positive, so we're going to start the car, see what we've got here, probe each one, and see if this goes up to 13.8. So let's do that. Okay, yep, alternator lights on, beautiful. So we have 12 volts, no charge. So, probe. 15.2. That's a little bit high. Okay. Alright, so now we know that the furthest one away is the light, the light fucking one, so that's where this has to go. So this has the 470 ohm resistor in it, so that needs to get connected to here, and then this one here, which is the sense, needs to go to here to regulate the voltage. So we'll get that one. I'll make a pigtail up for that and get that done now. Alright, so made up a little pigtail. Yeah, looks alright. So we're going to chuck this onto here, like so. So that one's going to go under there, bolt down, run through here, and then this one's going to come into yay connector. So that connector goes on like that, and that goes on like so. One-handed, not going to work. So I'm going to get this installed, and then come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so that's a pain in the ass. Yeah, it's a little bit too big, so I'm going to have to put probably a notch in here, so this can clip back down again. I couldn't run it through here, there's not enough room. So I might just put a little notch in this corner so I can clip this back down and keep it secure. But anyway, we'll test it first. So, 12.6 volts, see what happens. Something wrong here. Guess I'll go diagnose that and see what's going on. Yeah, so I don't know what the fuck happened then. 1434, pretty stable there. Ignore the throttle body, it needs to be fucking, the PIDs need to be adjusted. It goes like this and it's cold. Yeah, but 1434 is stable as fuck. So, 1435, 1434. Don't know what happened then, but yeah, I took it off, probed it with a multimeter and jumped up to 15, and then took it off and plugged it in and away it went. So, not sure. I might have to take that circuit away from the Haltech and run it independent, maybe. I don't know. I might just run some 2-4 wire to it. Run it off the ignition power source rather than Haltech and see what happens. I don't know. But I'll turn it off, give it another try, make sure it works, and that will be done. And yeah, work on that throttle body PID. I'll start, but you might like it. Alright, so a bit of an update now. So the regulators in this alternator does not like 470 ohm, so I just made up another one just to test, and it will not excite with 470 ohms. So I've got to drop the resistance down to like 220 or 100 maybe. The resistance in this test light is like 3 ohms, which yeah, does work, but anyway. So I gotta go to JCar and buy some more resistors for that. Yeah, didn't expect that to happen, but whatever, shit happens. It's electrical stuff for you. I do know the Haltech does have a 220 ohm pull-up resistor as well, but only on the injector drivers. And I do have a spare injector driver, but I was planning on using that for the fuel pump relay to use a resistor. So, yeah, I've got some thinking to do there. So for now, we'll go to JCar, get 100 ohm and 220 ohm resistors, just so I don't have to go back and forward again. It's like $1, so may as well buy each, and see what that does. And then, yeah, if I can spare the output, I'll run that. But I don't think I need to. Like, it can be away from the Haltech. It doesn't need to be controlled by it. It literally just needs an ignition source to excite it when the ignition's turned on and pulled down to 220 ohm to stop it from frying the regulator. So I'm going to do that, and then I got some work to do, and then I'll come back this afternoon and we'll get into it. Alright, so I've been shopping a little bit. I ended up, I went to Motorsport Accessories to buy some clamps to put exhaust valve on, and I ended up buying some more shit. So we have dash 4 line with some banjo fittings and shit to redo the water line on the turbo because I got a slight leak from that. I got a 360, I think it was 360 intake, 39mm. Yeah, I don't even know. Anyway, fuel pump to go into a surge tank, a whole heap of fittings which are already on the surge tank. Block off so I can run the bar valve, flex fuel sensor connector, because, finally got that. A whole heap of dash 6 line, dash 6, I think it's dash 6. To run a return line, which is going to be the feed line. And we have fuel pressure regulator with a boost reference, flex fuel sensor with the bypass, and surge tank. So this has the fuel pump in there already and a whole heap of fittings and shit. It's only got one pump, doesn't need two because it's got a second outlet there which is blocked off. So yeah, I got to start plumbing this into the car. So I got to put the car up on jack stands and run that dash 6 line through underneath the car because there's already a where the fuel rail goes from the engine bay through to the back of the car. There is a spare port there, and I got a little cut off bit, and it fits perfectly in there. So we're going to be running this the whole way down the car into the boot. Into the surge tank, and then the surge tank's going to get fed from the tank in the tank. So the pump in the tank is going to feed the surge tank, and that's going to have a return line going back. And we're going to use a standard line coming there already to use as a return line, and then this is going to be the new feed line. Yeah, that was hard. So I got to plan this out, and shitloads of fittings. So yeah, we're going to put the car on jack stands and then work out where we're going to go from here. The idea was with this, this is a dead one. I think this was replaced for some reason. No idea why. Use that port as the return. On mine, I've already taken this off because I snapped it right there, and I cut it off and put a bulkhead fitting in with push lock. So I'm never going to have that problem again. But we've got to take it back off, put a return line there, so we can use it as an overflow for the surge tank. Also got to pull the turbo off to redo this. So lots of work to do this weekend. So we'll get stuck into it. Alright, so we got the log open now for changing the alternator. So you can see battery voltage here, pretty much, not the yellow one, sorry, the orange one. We're pretty much consistently at 13.6 volts. Like it dropped to 13.2 there, but yeah, that was for a very short amount of time. But we're pretty consistently staying around the 13.6 to 13.8. So heat's better than what it was. Like it's a little bit of deviation, but that's a given. So I'm very happy with that. So as you saw from just before, I've got the whole surge tank set up and the new fuel pumps and lines and everything. And the reason I'm doing that is because of the fuel pressure. So if we look at a bit of a pull area here, so you can see this is the fuel pressure, this yellow line. So really the fuel pressure should be 58 psi to 63, 65, give or take. It's a headless system, so there's no real give in it. It's just, here's your pressure. There is a fuel pump resistor as well, which slows the pump down and keeps it quiet. But yeah, it's just, I'm noticing a lot of problems with fuel pressure and it being either too high or dropping too low at certain times. And yeah, anyway, when you're turbocharged, you should really have a rising rate regulator or a map reference regulator. So it decreases fuel pressure at idle, and it increases by 1 psi fuel pressure per 1 psi of boost. So right here, for instance, we got, so right there, we got 70.3 psi as a maximum. So that must have been, I reckon, about there. So it spiked as I let my foot off the accelerator, so 71.8. On boost, it was 55.8, 55.5, and yeah, that's at what, 5.7 psi. So we take 55.5 psi and minus 5.7 psi off of it for the boost pressure, then we're looking at 49 psi of fuel pressure. So yeah, so not ideal, because if we're dropping fuel pressure, we're dropping VE, and that's what's making tuning a little bit harder, because yeah, it's not ideal. So turbocharged map reference regulator, so it increases fuel pressure as boost increases. So that's the main reason I'm doing it, and just to smooth out any inconsistencies. Like, you can tune around it, you don't need to do it, but I'm also going to go E85, so I wanted to get a rising rate regulator and a surge tank anyway, so yeah, anyway. All right, so as you can see, the alternator definitely helped, which also helps with fuel pressure, which also makes the fuel pressure problem worse. So previously we were getting some drops in the fuel pressure, which was relating to the voltage dropping. So the voltage was dropping to 13.4, 13.3 volts, and then it was oscillating to like 14.5, 14.7 volts. So the voltage was going like this all the time, and yeah, and the fuel pressure was going with it. The injector dead times were changing. It was all over the fucking place. So now we've got a consistent voltage the whole way across. Yeah, it is a hell of a lot easier to tune. But now we see the fuel pressure is going up and down, and yeah. So as you get to 10 psi, for instance, and you're getting 55 psi fuel pressure, you're really going to see a VE difference between, say, 5 psi or atmospheric pressure through to 10 psi, because you're essentially adding 10 psi of additional pressure into the chamber, which then pretty much needs extra fuel to dump in to counteract the fuel pressure differential. So yeah, it's a bit of a science behind it, but like I said, you don't have to do it, but I just want to make sure that it's safe and that it's working properly. It wasn't that expensive, really. Well, yeah, it was a little bit expensive, but it wasn't that expensive compared to a rebuild. So we'll pretty much look at that in the next video. So go through the whole surge tank setup, everything like that. Show you the difference in the VE as well, from what it was or what it is now versus what it is when it's with a fuel pressure regulator that's rising rate and so on. The VE smooths out a shitload. You don't need anywhere near as much. It idles better. It drives better. Everything's just better with a fuel pressure regulator that's map based. But yeah, you don't need to get the whole surge tank thing, but I thought, well, fuck it, I'm already going to rising rate regulator, I may as well go a little bit further into a surge tank. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. It's a nice and quick one. Yeah, obviously, if you have any voltage problems on an RX-8, FD alternator swap is probably the easiest one by far. It literally took maybe half an hour. It's just finding out the resistances and so on, for the excitement of the field, or at least the regulator, because it excites the regulator, which excites the field of the alternator and lets it charge. So 220 ohms is what worked for me. Yeah. Anyway, leave it there. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.